Sports Blitz Live is on the air with full coverage of the Auburn Tigers,
Touchdown, Auburn!
the Alabama Crimson Tide,
Off to the inside, intercepted Alabama. Touchdown,
and everything college and high school sports. Now, let's join Andy, Brett, Randy, and Luke for this edition of Sports Blitz Live.
Good Saturday morning out there, everybody, and welcome into the Sports Blitz Saturday Sports Countdown. Brett Pritchard, Jim Hardy here with you for a couple hours, man. I'm just, we got a lot to talk about this morning, and we'll take your phone calls, 256-234-6221 to be part of the program. We'll take your comments on Facebook. We'd love to hear from you. Just a bizarre ending to last night's football game, and in Helena. I don't know any other way to spin it. And, it's one of those deals that, I look down and you showed me, I've been looking at this replay here for about 5 or 6 minutes. And it didn't have anything to do with the football game and the way it ended. But, Jim, I don't know that I've ever seen a call blown to the point of that one there. Again, let me go ahead and preface this. It had nothing to do with the ending of the game. The game was in hand. Helena won the football game, and they came out of the gate on fire. They dominated the first quarter, and unfortunately, it felt like the game was over in the first quarter. We'll talk more about that in a little bit and kind of how things played out. And around the county, there were some big wins. I know Davil got a big win. That's their first win under Chad McKelvey. So we'll talk a little bit about that one. They knocked off Lee Scott. Horseshoe Bend got a win last night over Ranburn. Clay Central knocked off Elmore County. They stay undefeated. There was a lot of teams around the area that got some pretty crucial wins. It was a big football game for Benjamin Russell to go to Helena. You kind of felt like that game was for the number 2 seed in this region, and for whatever reason, the Wildcats just did not show up in the first half, and Helena did. Helena was coming off a 3-game losing streak, had played 3 really tough opponents, and you could tell their backs were against the wall. They felt the imminence of that game, and they came out and played about as perfect of a first quarter as you could play, and we played about one of the worst that you could play. Seriously, talking to some of our coaches after the game and the way it played out. So we'll talk more about that in just a minute. But I want to go back to the end of the football game. Again, it had no bearing on the outcome, but we're really trying to we've got, backups in. They've got backups in, and we've still got Christian Smith in there because we moved him over to play a little running back, and he had a great game last week and ran the ball some for us this week. And really just trying to run the clock out, just running the ball. It's a minute and a half to go in the game, and we fumble. They scoop it up and run it down the far sideline. And, I go back and watch my call of the play, and, I guess I thought after I saw that maybe I just blew it, and I missed it. And but I didn't. And ran the guy out of bounds at the 5, and Helena felt like they had been run out of bounds too. Okay. And so we send our defense out there. We have a conversation about the play, and Helena sends our offense on the field, and they're getting ready to nail the ball. Well, they send the extra point team on the field first, and then they run them off, and then they run their offense back out on the field. Mm-hmm. And they line up and take a knee, and the official, I still have not seen a touchdown call.
It was not.
And again, Helena comes out and nails the football, and they go back, and the official goes, "Well, that was the extra point." And Wes, something said, "Well, he just nailed the extra point." I'm like, I've never seen that before. And Jay Reyes, let me just say this, our superintendent filled in last night for Randy on the broadcast, is one of the best officials I've been around. Seriously. He's a college official. He just knows football and basketball, and he was explaining some things. And again, he was talking about officials game managing at the end of something like that. That game should have been over. Jim, Helena tried to come out and kneel on the ball, and we ended up having to kick off, or they had to kick off, and then we had some extracurricular activity on the next play. You had a couple, players on both sides got after it a little bit, and just some frustrations flying. That's when you lose control of things. But that is the worst or missed or egregious call toward an end of a football game I've ever seen in my life, dude. He went out at the 5-yard line. We can clearly show it. I don't know if we can pull the video footage up to show you here this morning.
Yeah, I can get it.
And I'm telling you, he's out of bounds at the 5 or 6 yard line, and somehow the official comes in and says he scored. I'm not going to belabor this point too much this morning. We'll talk more about the game and how we got there, but that was a clearly blown call.
Yeah, I mean, I've played the game, I've coached the game, I've watched the game from high school to college to all of it, and I don't know that I've ever seen the head official with a white hat on is standing 2 yards from them when they get knocked out at the 5. I'm with you. He never signaled touchdown, never gave indication of anything, but then rushed everybody out there to go do the extra point. And the other team.
But did he not let them know is the question.
No, he didn't.
Lost complete control
of the game.
And look, we always are on the side of officials because this state needs officials. But calls like that cause extra plays toward the end of a game where the game's in hand. He lost control of the football game and had done that earlier in the game a little bit, and that was talked about. And we wouldn't normally ever talk about a call, especially in a game that's that out of hand like last night.
Oh, yeah.
But that one makes you scratch your head to make you feel like something may have been something else may have been going on. I know people make mistakes, but I don't know how you miss that one.
That was the obvious one to me because there was two clear things went on. One is the other team, Helena, didn't believe they scored because it was on their sideline. They saw the guy get pushed out. They know he didn't score. They know that. And
their ball boy got wiped out. Unfortunately, I hate it for that kid.
And use him as an example or as a marker where he went out. He didn't get wiped out in the end zone.
No.
And so there was no chance. And then the second one is what I brought up to you before we came on air. Maybe it never happens. Maybe the scenario doesn't play out. But what if Benjamin Russell plays enough games to where there's a tiebreaker needed and it's off of score, and they lose that tiebreaker for the second seed of the region or not even playoffs at all because of that touchdown?
Because of points.
Yeah.
And you miss it by 6.
6, yeah.
Right.
Now, do you go back and call that, ref?
Well, you don't. I mean, and that's, man, that's why everybody has a job to do on Friday nights. And I remember a play a few years ago in Pelham. Literally, we had guys. Caleb Brooks was standing on the sideline. Shannon Benefield was standing on the sideline down at and it was a Thursday night game, and it was one of those games where we came up a little short, but they went for it on 4th down, and the guy got tackled on the 3-yard line, and they gave him a touchdown. So it's apparently in some places in that area of the state, if you just get inside the 5, I guess you get credited for a touchdown.
I said, it makes me wonder, and what you had already brought up, makes me wonder if there was something else going on.
Well, even if there wasn't, it gets people to thinking that's something else.
Right.
And and creating that in the minds of people is not good. Especially, look, we defend and promote. We need more officials in this state.
Right.
And I've said this a million times. And look, I'll never forget, and I'll bring that play at Pelham back up. Our people were really upset about that. It was clear he didn't score. And at the time, it was a very close football game. And the official turns around and tells our people and said, look, this isn't my full-time job. Well, here's the way I look at that. It doesn't matter if it's your full-time job or not. You signed up to do a job.
Right.
So why not do it to the best of your ability? Does it give you an excuse for not doing it the right way? Does that give you a pass for blowing calls? Because I'm going to tell you what it does do. It hurts kids and coaches that go out and work their rear end off all week to play in that football game.
Well, yeah, I mean, not only those guys, but look at the whole grand scheme of everybody that was there. Those mamas and daddies worked all week to earn their money to be at that ball game, to watch their kid play, not counting of all the practices they drove them to and all that. It's not fair to
It trickles down way more than just the call on the field.
Yeah, oh yeah.
But anyway, it didn't have any bearing on the football game. When we come back from break, we're going to talk about that game ad nauseum, and then what did happen and what didn't happen for the Wildcats. The Wildcats find themselves, in a situation they've still got to get one more win to get in the playoffs. They have an off week coming up, and then they have Pelham on the road. And again, you got to figure out a way to get these next 2 games, and you got to win those games to have a chance to be that 3rd seed. But at the end of the day, Wildcats did not play well at all in the first quarter. I'm not sure that I can remember in recent memory a game getting out of hand in the first quarter. I mean, and we talked about it on the broadcast. Everybody from time to time, will let something get away from them at the end of a football game.
Oh yeah.
Spain Park kind of got that way for us. It was basically about to be a 1-score game going into the fourth quarter, and they held us, and they ended up scoring that first drive of the fourth quarter to end up pulling away and winning the ball game convincingly. But we were in that one and had a chance to cut it to 6, and we weren't able to pull it off. But at the end of the day, you can let things get away from you in the end. But I don't remember getting off the bus and us getting, pummeled like we did in the first quarter. So we'll take a break here on the Saturday Sports Countdown. When we come back, Jim and I will run down scores. We'll talk about last night's game. Again, some big games here in this area for some of our local teams. Got some big wins, and we'll talk about those when we come back. Stay tuned. Just getting started here on the Saturday Sports Countdown.
Sportz Auto Sales, Highway 280 in Kellyton, Alabama, is home-owned and home-operated. If you're looking for tires, they have it. If you're looking for a vehicle, they have them. Great selection. Always out looking for more just for you, the customer. And if you're looking for service, whether you buy the vehicle from them or whether you buy the vehicle somewhere else, they do service work and got a great crew there. Keep us in mind. Don't you go by Sportz Auto Sales on Highway 280 in Kellyton today.
What's the verdict?
Can't fix your heat pump. Need a new one.
Uh-oh. What are you thinking?
I'm thinking Daikin.
Call on Kevin Kill in Sunshine Heating and Air at 256-825-4849, Central Alabama's premier Daikin dealer.
So what's he thinking?
Oh, he's thinking Daikin.
Daikin, one of the top selling in the world.
Now I'm thinking Daikin.
Daikin. Comfort for life.
Russell Do-It Center and Building Supply is your headquarters for all the brands contractors know best. We are your local home improvement store with 9 convenient locations throughout Central Alabama. We have a huge selection of Weber and Traeger, Pelican coolers, Milwaukee and DeWalt tools, and other top brands. No matter the project, we have you covered with our high-quality lumber and building supplies. From do-it-yourselfers to seasoned pros, Russell Do-It Center and Building Supply has what you need to get the job done.
Red Flag Pest Control is Central Alabama's best in pest control, with hometown service in Lake Martin and now the greater Montgomery area. When you see pests, throw down the red flag. Termites, bed bugs, carpenter bees, mosquitoes, or general pests. Red Flag gets the job done at the right price for your home or business. At Lake Martin, call 888-943-0353 or in Montgomery, 334-265-1831. Red Flag, the best in pest control in Central Alabama.
I'm Karen Chanel, your State Farm agent in Alexander City, Alabama, and the greater Lake Martin area. I want to talk to you a little bit today about your discounts. How many of you are entitled to discounts that you may or may not be receiving? One of the easiest discounts on your homeowner's insurance is that of having a fire extinguisher. Coupled with a deadbolt lock and a smoke alarm, that gives you an automatic discount on your homeowner's policy.
Hi, this is Brian Bice with Bice Motors. With our all-star lineup of Dodge trucks, Jeep, SUVs, and Chrysler cars, we offer the area a team dedicated to making your next vehicle purchase a positive experience. Our sales team offers competitive pricing, and we back up all sales with a service department second to none. Bice Motors also offers the area's best selection of pre-owned vehicles. Visit Bice Motors at 2133 Cherokee Road in Alexander City.
Guaranteed lowest price. Buy it at Bice. Bice Motors.
figure it out.
Welcome back, everyone, to the Saturday Sports Countdown presented by JR Sports Bar and Grill and Sunshine Heating and Air. Going to talk about some local games here. Going to talk about Benjamin Russell's game last night. Going to start giving you scores from around the state, but just going ahead and send out congratulations to Chad McKelvey at Dable. His first victory as head coach for the Tigers. Been a tough sled for them to this point, but they get a win over a good Lee Scott team on the road last night, 13-10. So kudos to them for continuing to fight. And again, Chad McKelvey, we talked about it. Very passionate. Thought he was a really good fit for Dable to take over there, and they get a big win. So I know a lot of celebration last night in Dable, Alabama, and in the McKelvey household picking up that win. Horseshoe Bend knocked off Ranburne 42-27. Big win for the Generals and Coach Phillips, and again being able to put that amount of points up and hold them off. Reeltown just continues to roll 40-0, Jim, over Lynette. Just keeps doing what they do in Reeltown, Alabama. So congratulations to them. Some big wins. Central Clay, Danny Horn becomes the winningest coach in state of Alabama history.
That's a pretty big state.
Yeah, he passes Terry Curtis, who UMS Wright lost last night. So Danny Horn takes over that top spot here in the state of Alabama. Danny Horn, I was blessed to be around him for 10 years here at Benjamin Russell. Just a class act, knows how to get it done, has been a winner everywhere, everywhere he's been, and hasn't been very many places. Only been to Clay County, Benjamin Russell, and now to Central of Clay after the merger, but been successful and really done a great job where he is. And I can't think anybody that deserves it more and has earned it more than Danny Horn. So we'll talk some more about that.
Well, that number, the side note to that number that he's got right now could be even bigger if he didn't come to Benjamin Russell, is what I'm saying.
Right.
If he stays at Clay County, I think because he had several seasons, he didn't win but it's just a few games at Benjamin Russell.
Right.
If he stays there, I think he has these continuous 8, 9, 10 win seasons.
Right,
and
right.
That number's way higher right now.
Yeah, no kidding. So,
but I get it. I think it was understanding he came here because of the tenure part of it, like to get retirement, and there was something to do with. There was something to do why he came here, though. I mean, he didn't.
He wanted the job.
Right.
He had tried for the job and wanted the job. Wanted to coach here. He said it when he was hired. It was a place he had eyed for a long time, and he'd obviously a legend at Clay County, but came here and again in high school but let me just say this: sometimes you get patches of where it's up and down, and we experience that here all the time in Alex City when you're playing in one of the largest classifications in the state, and you're one of the smallest teams in that state. So anyway, the first couple of years were tough sledding, but he got it on a roll, and we won 11 games 4 years in a row, and had a really good stretch. Went to the semifinals, and he had the team, right there on the cusp. I mean, we go back to 2015, felt like we're up 27-10 at half on Spanish Fort, and you thought you had the game, and Spanish Fort came back and won, blah blah blah, whatever. Mm-hmm. But he came out. Then he retired while he was at Benjamin Russell. So so you can still work and draw up to a certain amount of money.
That's what I was getting.
Yeah. But no, he retired while he was at Benjamin
I just
Russell,
didn't know So you're saying then it was more of a move. He made the move from Clay to Benjamin Russell just for the competition part of it.
Well, he wanted the job.
To see
absolutely.
He obviously had it made at Clay.
Sure, absolutely.
He could have stayed there the rest of his life.
Right. Well, again, coaches sometimes they want to see what they can do other places, and he spent 10 years, spent a decade here, so he's officially retired and has been retired for a while, but still coaching full time, and you can do that. So, boy, you talk about getting a good deal.
Oh yeah.
You talk about getting a coach at a bargain. You're not having to pay a full salary, but again, he's drawing retirement, drawing the check that he draws, but he does it because he's passionate about it. Got some comments coming in. Again, Glenn's already getting ready for the Red River rivalry next week. He's a big Texas fan, and so we'll talk about that in the college segment. That'll be next week. Tony said tough loss last night for Stanhope. The quarterback got injured in the first quarter, and there was no backup on the roster. I don't know that I don't know that I've ever heard of that.
No.
Not having a – so you're saying that Stanhope does not have a backup on the team? That's kind of odd. And he said the injury doesn't look severe, so maybe he doesn't miss much time. So, but yeah, Stanhope. We'll go through these scores here in just a minute. John says good morning to us. I'll go back and again before we get into these scores, I want to go back and kind of give a synopsis of last night's game for anybody that missed it. I got in a few texts late last night and early this morning, just shocked at the score of this game. You know, Benjamin Russell's won this game the last couple of years, and they had a tremendous running back the last couple of years up there in Washington. And, you know, he's not there anymore. But I tell you, their quarterback was a gritty player. And at one point in time in the broadcast, Jay said that, you know, he reminded him of a Army-Navy type quarterback. There's a lot of design runs just from the quarterback position. It wasn't anything special. It was just a quarterback sweep basically to the right or the left, depending on the lineup. So, you know, give him credit being the player he was. But, Jim, we get off to about as bad a start as you can get off to, again, a penalty sets us back on the first play. So it's 1st and 15 after a false start. We go 3 and out. We have to punt. It's a bad snap. Micah can't get the ball off the turf. They tackle us inside the 1 yard line, so they have to go a yard basically for a touchdown. So they score on the next play. And then we also, later in the game, give up a punt return where we had 2 guys right around the punt return guy, and he catches it. Clearly didn't call a fair catch. I think our guys somehow thought he did, but he didn't. You go back and look. He didn't call a fair catch. He catches it and runs between them and hits the sideline and scores. And then we fumble a kickoff. You know, we can't get the ball on the kickoff, trying to pick it up and run with it, and they recover it inside the 20 and end up taking it in there. 21 points off blunders and mistakes and really putting yourself in a hole. And then, you know, I know it sounds like a loser mentality, but really from that point on, Jim, it was an even game. We kind of matched each other scoring, and I know they scored that ghost touchdown at the end of the game there that we've been talking about. But, you know, we match them touchdown for touchdown in the second quarter, same in the third. And, you know, it would have been basically a 1 or 2 score game from that point on. Yeah, but just got off to a horrendous start.
That's kind of what you guys had brought up in your broadcast, too, to start the night. You know, you said you looking at these teams on the hoof. They look equal. They match up equally.
They do. There was no advantage on the lines of scrimmage.
It should have been an equal ball game. It just – those mistakes, sometimes those things happen that for whatever reason, you know, a ball dropped here, a snap dropped there, and it's how you recover from those things is what does it to you.
Yeah, it's been a challenge special teams-wise for us all year. And, you know, against good football teams, Jim, you know about special teams. That's what you played. I mean, in even games and against good teams and against teams that you're matched up with and you're even, special teams usually determines the game. And if you have poor play in special teams, it usually rears its ugly head in games like last night.
Well, didn't I hear you refer to on the broadcast as well last night that the starting kicker was out?
Yeah, starting place kicker was out, not punter. Micah's was in there for punting purposes. But, you know, I thought, you know, the young freshman for us, the Rich kid, came in and did extremely well. I mean, he missed a 25-yard field goal. It looked good from our angle, but clearly just maybe missed it to the right a little bit. But his extra points were really good. I thought he kicked off well last night, came in and did a really good job. But Colin Murphy was a little ill last night and unable to go. So hopefully we can get Colin back. But I wasn't as disappointed in that as maybe some of the snaps and some of the things that we've struggled with that have cost us. And in coverage, you know, our coverage teams, punt and kickoff, have given up way too many yards this year.
You know, those things are, if you learn the game and especially get down to the special team side of it, those things are coachable things on Wednesdays and Thursdays to get yourself ready on a Friday. Is what you've already referred to. Is one part of it is the angles that you take to get to that guy on the punt return. You want to kind of box him into an area, but then two, when you get there, you got to make the tackle.
Right.
You can't let him split you and run down the sideline. I mean, I watched that last night, and it was just atrocious as far as the way that they covered that punt. That was a I don't know what I want to call a discipline thing there.
Well, I mean, I go back and watch it, and it's like we thought he called a fair catch, and I don't know why, because we didn't see anything that indicated that the kid had signaled a fair catch. He catches the punt in the middle of our guys, and, you know, once he splits those guys, their initial guys to be down there to at least slow him up or tasked with making the tackle, and they don't do it. And when he got the sideline, we had nobody over there.
Right. You know, it was obvious when he hit the sideline that the only person left was Micah to try to get him over there, and he was too late to get there. So it was, I mean, those type of things. And I think you brought up the kicker last night. He had several balls that you guys kicked into the end zone. So that's a great weapon to have on special teams.
Oh, yeah.
If you got to start at the 20 every time, that's a big advantage.
Yeah, I say this all the time. I go way back to our state championship year in 2001. Brent Dye kicked everything into the end zone. I mean, I don't remember him. I think it was touchback after touchback after touchback, and we were so good offensively, we'd score, and it was automatic. Teams had to go 80 on us to get a touchdown.
That's
it was
huge.
every single drive for the opposing team. They had to go 80 yards, and that is a weapon. And people don't realize it. While you have it, you take it for granted a lot of times because you just go, okay, he lines up, he kicks in the end zone. But, man, when you don't have it, you know, and teams are able to run the ball out and they're able to get out to the 30, 35, or maybe break a tackle and get up around midfield, well, you're shortening the field and changing field position.
You brought it up already about the way the game played out last night. Think about how many times Helena had it inside of Benjamin Russell's 30, inside of the 20, inside of the 10. Field position changes the game.
And
a playbook.
And, again, you think about 3 touchdowns that they had last night. Half their points, basically, came from us just handing them field position or handing them a play in special teams. You know, again, you put your defense on the field inside the 1 on the first drive of the game. Yeah, again, that's putting their backs against. Well, I don't even give that to the defense.
Right.
You know, I pretty much count that as a special team score because they basically scored on that play. And so the punt return goes that way, and then you hand them another ball inside the 20 on a fumbled kickoff. So, I mean, there's 3 basically touchdowns just gift wrapped.
Yeah.
You can't do that against pretty much anybody and expect to win.
And teams don't look at it this way, or I say teams, fans don't look at it this way, but the good teams look at it this way. Special teams is a third of what's going on. I think offense is a third, defense is a third, and special is. The only reason special teams is not brought up as much because a lot of the good teams do it well so they don't make mistakes, and you go, okay, we're going to punt, we're in good shape. The ones that don't play the game well make those errors like you saw last night, and that's how those games get out of hand.
Yeah.
If it's what you already brought up, if special teams plays their third last night the way they should have played it, that's an even game all the way out to the end.
And you're right. I mean, the most fans don't think of it that way. So, all right, so we're going to take a break. I think that was a sign we need to get out, and we got to go to break. So we'll take a break. We'll come back. We'll start running down scores. Continue to take your comments. Keep them coming in. Stay tuned. More to come right after this.
Law Center provides optimum care for the whole person. Dr. Dimo Popov specializes in the prevention and diagnosis of high blood pressure, kidney disease, diabetes, and acute and chronic conditions. Our weight loss clinic offers lipo shots and a guide to healthy weight loss. Alex City Internal Medicine and Nephrology and Weight Loss Center, where lifestyle changes are made.
Hillary Towers may very well be the Lake Martin area's best-kept secret, an affordable senior citizens community located on Highway 22 East in Alexander City. Spacious one-bedroom units are currently available. Great location, peaceful setting, comfortable living where pets are allowed and utilities are included. Call today for more information on the newly renovated Hillary Towers, 256-329-0552. 256-329-0552. Hillary Towers, 22 East, Alexander City.
SignSource is your local vendor for commercial and residential sign manufacturing and installation. We offer all kinds of lighted and non-lighted signage, from retail signs, LED message centers, event banners, vehicle wraps, the whole spectrum. We also offer service and repair on existing signs, as well as retrofitting to LED or installation of outsourced signage. We have the knowledge necessary to fulfill all of your signage needs in the short or long term. Visit signsourcenow.com to get started.
Satterfield Outdoor Living is Lake Martin's trusted friend for your outdoor land and leisure needs. We're the region's authorized Skag mower dealer for residential and commercial lawns and offer all the small engine accessories you need. With top lines of Steel, Echo, Shindaiwa, Husqvarna, and Metabo products that can tame any landscape. Satterfield is also your grill headquarters with Big Green Egg Grill. And our pros service everything in-house and back up all sales. Get the Satterfield Outdoor difference on Highway 280 right across from Tallapoosa Ford.
Passion, the obsession that burns within. Determination, the burning desire to make it. Drive, the motivation to be the absolute best. Skills, the tools to perform at the highest level. Excellence, the feeling of achievement. At Central Alabama Community College, you can release your passion, show your determination, display your drive, and showcase your skills to achieve excellence. Central Alabama Community College, central to you, central to your success.
Hi, I'm Abby Guy, Vice President at Riverbank and Trust. They say that most banks offer the same products, but Riverbank offers something most can't: personal connection. We love getting to know our customers by name and making them feel special with every interaction. It's a feeling of warm hospitality you won't find anywhere else. Experience it for yourself.
Welcome back, everyone, to the Saturday Sports Countdown presented by JR Sports Bar and Grill and Sunshine Heating and Air. If you got a comment or question, send it to us via our stream there on Facebook or YouTube. You can call us 256-234-6221. Got more people obviously watching and listening now at 7:30. So just kind of broke down the game for Benjamin Russell. Got off to a rough start. And we talked in the first segment about the call at the end of the game that we're still discussing a little bit because it had nothing to do with the game. But, man, if you go back and watch the replay this week, that one, yep. I don't know how, again, and we won't say any more about this, but a scoop-up fumble return where we push a kid out of bounds around the 6-yard line.
Right.
And they give him a touchdown and I didn't see a signal. I didn't see there. Helena didn't think they scored. Obviously, we didn't think they scored. It was a mess. And at the end, and I know people make mistakes, and I know they miss it, but there's no way that guy running side by side with the guy returning the ball clearly sees that no obstruction from the play and gives them a touch. I just don't know. Because I was questioning myself, Jim, on the broadcast. I'm like, did I miss it that bad?
Yeah, if you watch which we watched it 5 or 6 times this morning. If you watch the broadcast in your words where he got knocked out inside the 10. Then you came back about a few plays later and go, did I see that right? That don't make any sense?
What's going on? We were confused on why they were lining up the way they were. But anyway, they took a knee thinking that they were going to run the clock out inside, and they were doing the sportsmanlike thing. They were just going to take a knee and go to the house. And then the officials come in and said, all right, get off. You just, you nailed on the extra points. It was the craziest end I've ever seen.
That's what you had already brought it up. Even if something fishy wasn't going on, it leaves a lot of room for doubt.
Yeah, it doesn't make any sense, especially in a game that was out of hand like that. All right, let's go down the scoreboard last night. Again, I want to thank everybody for tuning in. JJ and Andy last night on the AHSAA Radio Network Scoreboard Show carries you all throughout the state of Alabama and anywhere in the world that you want to tune us in. The most comprehensive scoreboard show in the state and the official scoreboard of the AHSAA. 7A football, this was a gem, and this one – is a game that Auburn, I know, has been wanting to get over the hump for a couple of years, and Auburn's got a good football team. They knock off Phoenix City 38-33, a whale of a football game. Phoenix City, you're defending 7A champs. They go down to Auburn. I have a feeling those two teams will see each other again in the South bracket unless somebody steps up. But a brutal region between them and Enterprise and Carver and Dothan and all of that, and Opelika. But a big win there for Auburn, 38-33 over Phoenix City. Daphne over Davidson, 34-13. Enterprise on Thursday night gets a 3-point win over Carver, and that's Carver's first loss there under Bobby Carr. And Enterprise, again, this is a region, Jim, that these teams just beat each other up. There's 4 teams in that region I think could win a state title. That's how good that region is, and you can be even a 5th seed or 6th seed in that region and be a playoff contender in any other region, but you don't make the playoffs.
Yeah, it's a tough place to play right there.
And so a couple more scores before we go to break. Opelika. Now, Dothan had lost 3 one-touchdown games to Phoenix City, to Enterprise, and to Carver, I believe, if I'm correct, or it may have been I think that's the 3. I know they lost 3 one-touchdown games, but Opelika goes to Dothan needing to get a big win, and they do, 28-7. So I don't know if Dothan's a little dejected because they've lost 3 really close games and had a chance, and maybe they kind of feel things slipping away. But Opelika goes down, and a very good Opelika team now that's playing well, that's only lost 1 game, 28-21 to Auburn earlier in the year. Jim, again, this is a good football team. Got a new coach over there. You better watch out for Opelika coming down the stretch.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I mean, we got to see them firsthand, or I did watching the broadcast and everything. You guys
and we played pretty good against them.
Yeah, I thought, and there were a lot of players on that team for Opelika that's going to play at the next level.
Hey, no doubt about it. And again, that goes back to talk about Ben Russell real quick. That Opelika, a powerhouse 7A team, is playing well. It was a 1-score game going into the 4th quarter. Right. I mean, they end up winning 28-14, but, it's 21-14. Jim, going into the 4th, they make a long pass play and extend it out. But, I thought first game of the year playing a team we played really good. I mean, if you take that type of effort up to Helena last night, it's a different situation. And it's
it's what we've already, kind of dissected that game a little bit. If you take the mistakes, the special teams part of it out of it, it's an even ball game.
All right, we're going to take a break, come back. We're going to continue with scores throughout the state.
Hi, this is Brian Bice with Bice Motors. With our all-star lineup of Dodge trucks, Jeep, SUVs, and Chrysler cars, we offer the area team dedicated to making your next vehicle purchase a positive experience. Our sales team offers competitive pricing, and we back up all sales with a service department second to none. Bice Motors also offers the area's best selection of pre-owned vehicles. Visit Bice Motors at 2133 Cherokee Road in Alexander City.
Guaranteed lowest price. Buy it at Bice Motors.
Get ready to rev up your fall with Adams Motorsports in Montgomery. This season, experience the thrill of the open road like never before. From sleek motorcycles to powerful ATVs to versatile side-by-sides, we've got everything you need to fuel your passion for adventure. Whether Polaris, Suzuki, or Kawasaki, Adams sells and services the best. Go to where the journey begins. Visit us today or online for more information. From East Alabama's first family of power sports, Adams Motorsports of Montgomery.
You've dreamed about the perfect house, a place to call your own, and a place to not only stretch out, but to grow. Auto Owners protects your house because to you, it's home. That's simple human sense. Happy to help, man. I was just over there talking to myself anyway.
Lake Martin Funeral Home and Cremation is coming soon to the corner of 280 and 49 North in Daytonville. This new 10,000 square foot facility is conveniently located to serve the residents of the Lake Martin area and its many communities. A branch of Frederick Dean Funeral Home and Crematory in Opelika, Lake Martin Funeral Home and Cremation looks forward to serving your families and your communities, as we have since 1900 at Frederick Dean. 256-750-0381.
there's only one option for top-of-the-line aftermarket upgrades on your vehicle, and that's Frontline Outfitters. We offer quality parts, lift kits, custom wheels and tires, bed covers, step bars, and toolboxes. They're installed by trained and skilled professionals, to custom powder coating with hundreds of colors and finishes, to the highest quality film for window tinting using state-of-the-art film cutting technology. Call Frontline Outfitters at 256-409-8100. Don't be in the back of the line. Put your vehicle at the front with Frontline Outfitters.
Looking to transform your outdoor space? Look no further than Bama Sheds. As a family-owned and operated business, we understand your needs. That's why we offer no credit check, rent-to-own options. Enjoy free delivery and setup within 35 miles of our 4 convenient locations. Whether you need a shed, pole barn, garage, or carport, we've got you covered. Visit our website at BamaSheds.com or call 256-268-8484. Bama Sheds, where quality meets affordability and your outdoor dreams become reality.
Welcome back, everyone, to the Saturday Sports Countdown presented by JR Sports Bar and Grill and Sunshine Heating and Air. Brett and Jim here with you for about an hour and 20 more minutes here on Saturday. And we'll continue running down scores. We're still in 7A. Hoover knocks off Oak Mountain 28-10. James Clemens remains they lost to Spain Park last week, so I was going to say they remain undefeated. They get a win last night, though, 28-16, and I just mentioned Opelika knocking off Dothan 28-7 before the break. Thompson, tremendous defense, and just offensively don't have it, but they get another close victory over Hewitt-Trussville, 15-10. They've been winning games like that all year, Jim, for whatever reason. I don't know. I don't have a chance to watch them. Trent Seaborn, he won that state championship basically as an 8th grader at quarterback, which is kind of unheard of. But don't know what his numbers are. I don't know who he has around him, but you would just think at Thompson a little bit better offense. But they struggle, but their defense is one of the best maybe in the country. Jared Smith, Anquan Fagan's, a host of great players on that defense. And Vestavia Hills runs away from Prattville last night, 49-14. All right, in 6A football, Calera over Brookwood, 35-14. Chelsea knocks off Chilton County to remain undefeated, 35-6. Clay Chalkville, close game, one of their closest football games to date this season, 21-14 winners over Mountain Brook. Mountain Brook always one of those tough teams up in the Birmingham area. Clay Chalkville remains undefeated. Excuse me. Homewood over Gardendale, 23-7. Gadsden City shuts out Lee, 55-0. McAdory over Central Tuscaloosa, 31-10. Hueytown knocks off Northridge, 52-10. Muscle Shoals outscores Athens, 56-42. Oxford over Pell City in a shutout there, 27-0. It was Parker knocking off Jackson Ola, 56-0. Mentioned this earlier. Russell County knocks off Stanhope, 42-28. Pike Road, 54. Park Crossing, 28. Saraland, 55-6 over Baldwin County. Spain Park, no problem over Pelham, 42-7. St. Paul's knocks off Gulf Shores. Gulf Shores, Jim, moving up from 5A to 6A, finding it a little bit tough sledding. When you move up classifications, they're your defending 5A champs. But, man, when you move up a classification, you find the tough going a little bit.
Well, that's the difference in the numbers of kids and the depth on there,
And they're struggling a little bit this year. In 5A football, we mentioned it. Central Clay with a win, 29-7 over Elmore County. With that win, Danny Horn becomes the winningest coach in Alabama history. Again, eclipsing Terry Curtis there. Terry Curtis's UMS Wright team loses last night, so gives Danny the top spot right there. And, again, congratulations to him, a guy that is revered by a lot of people in the state, tons of state championships, just has had a successful career. And is still going. Beauregard shuts out Hopeville 21-0. Charles Henderson gets back in the win column, team that Ben Russell played last week and shut out. They go to Andalusia. Andalusia is normally a really tough place to play. They go and win 28-12. So kudos to them for getting back in the win column. Demopolis is playing good football. They shut out, or actually they give up 8, but they win convincingly. They knock off Shelby County 35-8. Eufaula shuts out Greenville 38-0. Gunnersville, very good football team there in 5A, knocks off Grissom 51-14. It was Leeds 56, St. Clair County 42, Montgomery Catholic, Jim, in 5A football. Central Clay's good. Really good teams in 5A. The top 5 really are. But, man, I'm going to tell you, Montgomery Catholic moves up from 4A to 5A, and they are steamrolling everybody. 65-0 last night over Carroll. So they just continue to be a force there. Went 15-0 last year, won the state title, and they continue to roll. Moody knocks off Center Point 36-12. That's a good 5A football team that's played a lot of tough opponents. So we'll see how they play continuing on down the stretch. Viger shuts out Alberta 40-0, and Williamson knocks off Faith Academy 63-0. We'll go down to 4A football now. It was Alexandria with a 1-point win over Hoax Bluff 28-27. Cherokee County shuts out Anniston 14-0. Deshler over Central Florence 21-14. Dora over Haleyville 42-28. Etowah knocks off Aniana 42-6. Going down through here, some other scores of interest. Hanley over Bullitt County 38-21. Orange Beach over Escambia County 38-6. Randolph 56, DAR 28. St. James with a 32-28 win over Booker T. Washington. Booker T. Washington having another great year, but St. James gets a big win there, 32-28 over the Tigers. Talladega knocks off Munford 28-14. Tallahassee with another big win over Cleveland County, 35-7. So L.A. O'Neill comes over and takes that job from Booker T. Washington. They continue to get better as the year goes along. So a big win there for the Tigers down in Tallahassee. White Plains knocks off Asheville 24-20, and W.S. Neal over Satsuma in a good football game, 32-26, and that gets us down to 3A. We come back from break. We'll wrap up scores from around the state and get you ready for the College Blitz segment of the program. Stay tuned. More to come right after this.
Hi, this is Brian Bice with Bice Motors. With our all-star lineup of Dodge trucks, Jeep, SUVs, and Chrysler cars, we offer the area team dedicated to making your next vehicle purchase a positive experience. Our sales team offers competitive pricing, and we back up all sales with a service department second to none. Bice Motors also offers the area's best selection of pre-owned vehicles. Visit Bice Motors at 2133 Cherokee Road in Alexander City.
Guaranteed lowest price. Buy it at Bice. Bice Motors.
Get ready to rev up your fall with Adams Motorsports in Montgomery. This season, experience the thrill of the open road like never before. From sleek motorcycles to powerful ATVs to versatile side-by-sides, we've got everything you need to fuel your passion for adventure. Whether Polaris, Suzuki, or Kawasaki, Adams sells and services the best. Go to where the journey begins. Visit us today or online for more information. From East Alabama's first family of power sports, Adams Motorsports of Montgomery.
You've dreamed about the perfect house, a place to call your own, and a place to not only stretch out, but to grow. Auto Owners protects your house because to you, it's home. That's simple human sense. Happy to help, man. I was just over there talking to myself anyway.
Lake Martin Funeral Home and Cremation is coming soon to the corner of 280 and 49 North in Dadeville. This new 10,000 square foot facility is conveniently located to serve the residents of the Lake Martin area and its many communities. A branch of Frederick Dean Funeral Home and Crematory in Opelika, Lake Martin Funeral Home and Cremation looks forward to serving your families and your communities, as we have since 1900 at Frederick Dean. 256-750-0381.
there's only one option for top-of-the-line aftermarket upgrades on your vehicle, and that's Frontline Outfitters. We offer quality parts, lift kits, custom wheels and tires, bed covers, step bars, and toolboxes that are installed by trained and skilled professionals, to custom powder coating with hundreds of colors and finishes, to the highest quality film for window tinting using state-of-the-art film cutting technology. Call Frontline Outfitters at 256-409-8100. Don't be in the back of the line. Put your vehicle at the front with Frontline Outfitters.
Looking to transform your outdoor space? Look no further than Bama Sheds. As a family-owned and operated business, we understand your needs. That's why we offer no credit check, rent-to-own options. Enjoy free delivery and setup within 35 miles of our 4 convenient locations. Whether you need a shed, pole barn, garage, or carport, we've got you covered. Visit our website at BamaSheds.com or call 256-268-8484. Bama Sheds, where quality meets affordability and your outdoor dreams become reality.
All right, welcome back, everyone, to the Saturday Sports Countdown presented by JR Sports Bar and Grill. Russ, you got your speaker on, brother. You know, when you look at it, again, we'll say one more thing about the game from last night. In a scenario that we just talked about, Jim, Ben Russell still has Pelham and Chelsea left.
Right.
And look, I know that you feel like you lost an opportunity probably to finish as the number 2 seed in the region, but Helena's still got to play Chelsea, and we still got to play Chelsea. And right now, obviously, Helena has the head-to-head with us. But if Chelsea were to knock off Helena and we were to beat Chelsea, now you've created a 3-way tie there in that number 2 spot, and it comes down to tiebreakers.
Right.
And like you said earlier, I mean, maybe it doesn't seem like that big a deal in a blowout loss, but that last touchdown, the points in region play is one of the tiebreakers, and that could – what if it's down to 6 points?
Yeah. No, there's no question. I mean, and it very well, think of the scenario, it very well could happen of Benjamin Russell playing Chelsea. You could blow them out.
Well, I mean, you can't – I mean, they're capable of it, and it's at home.
Right.
Look, but honestly, what if it comes down to a 3-way tie there? Let's say we take care of business against Pelham, and then we knock off Chelsea, and Chelsea's beating Helena, which Chelsea's undefeated right now.
Right.
Chelsea's got a very good chance to knock off Helena, I think.
Oh, yeah.
So you tell me, I mean, now all of a sudden, when we're talking about a game that's out of hand and a call and, hey, that touchdown, does that end up coming back and being an issue?
I think whether it does or not, it's an issue because your referee should at least be talked to about that. That should never happen in a ball game ever, whether the game's in hand or not. But then, too, if it comes back to be part of your playoff deal, that's terrible.
Well, it could. Yeah. I mean, we just came up with a scenario where it could. So, look, I don't know. We got to play. Only thing you can control is what's in front of you.
Right.
Unfortunately, that was a crazy ending to a football game.
Hopefully that referee's not in your Benjamin Russell Chelsea game.
Maybe not. So maybe not. I hope I don't have to say that guy ever again. Don't know the guy, and just a terrible deal all the way across the board. All right, 3A football, Beulah on Thursday night. It was the game of the week. Me and Lauren traveled up to Sylacauga to highlight this game, and turned out to be a really good football game. Beulah knocks off BB Comer 43-40. High-scoring affair. I had a chance to talk to Adam Fawcett up there, and he kind of shook his head when we were talking to each other. He said, "Look, it's been a crazy year for them, an up and down year. They've had a lot of success the last couple of years. Played for a state title a few years ago, and again, they're kind of riding one of those waves over at BB Comer right now. And they got some pretty good players, but." Again, another close loss for them. I know that's frustrating for him, but big win for Beulah. Beulah playing a lot better football than they normally play that we're used to, and Beulah building their program up. So congratulations to them there on a big win. We're going to run down some sporadic scores here in the last three classifications. Fife over Sylvania, 49-17. Gordo over Oakman, 32-27. Houston Academy knocked off Alabama Christian, 45-18. Mars Hill Bible is just a force, man. There's no other way around it. 42-7 over Rogers. Piedmont 61-14 over Locust Fork. Montgomery Academy, rival game here, Jim. Montgomery Academy, 1-point win over Trinity, 28-27. No, that was a good football game down there in the Montgomery area. Glenwood 68, Randolph County 40. Randolph County, good football team. Glenwood comes over and slaps 68 on them. That's Daville's next opponent. Again, Glenwood, very good football team, moving over from AHSAA, and they got it done. Big-time win there. T.R. Miller over Cottage Hill, 48-7. You better watch them in 3A. I would say they're probably the favorite in that classification. Some other good teams, but T.R. Miller right now just not being challenged in 3A football. And Westbrook Christian over Ohatchee, 48-27. Down to 2A football. Coosa Christian, 43-0 over Cleveland. They're going to have a lot to say on who wins 2A. Just a very good program. Highland Home shuts out Isabella, 61-0. It was Goshen with a shutout win over Barber County, 62-0. A lot of lopsided games last night down here in 2A. As we talked about, Horseshoe Bend gets a big win over Ranburne, 42-27. Big region win there for the Generals. And, again, trying to get back to the playoffs over there with Coach Jeremy Phillips. Lochapoka, no problem with Central Coosa, 58-14. Pisgah over Sandrock, 40-20. Pisgah, the current #1 team there in 2A, opened up the season with a win over Fife, which is a big win there. We talked about Reeltown earlier. No problem against Lynette, 40-0. They just continue to cruise down there. Matt Johnson is doing a phenomenal job. They were state runner-up last year to that Fife football team. Fife not in 2A anymore, but they opened up the season with that T.R. Miller team. And, you know, I'm going to tell you something. T.R. Miller up in 3A showing that they're a really good team. That's the only loss for Reeltown so far this year.
Goodness.
Reeltown, very, very good football team. Going to have a good chance there in 2A. All right, down in 1A, we'll finish up scores here around the state. Brantley over Georgiana, 16-12. Elba over Red Level, 46-0. Florala shuts out Kinston, 41-0. Hackleburg shuts out Vena, 46-0. Maplesville over Otaugaville, 34-0. So a few other scores here. Raglan over Valley Head, 20-7. Sweetwater over JF Shields, 45-12. And Wadley, the #1 team in 1A, no problem over Woodland, 49-14. Jim, going to wrap up our scores from around the state of Alabama.
Like a lot of blowouts.
A lot of lopsided scores last night. And, you know, again, right here in the local area, you got Wadley, you got Reeltown, you got Clay Central, and all of them are undefeated. And it just a very good group of teams. Reeltown, Wadley, and
I know you're
Reeltown not undefeated. They lost the first game, but man, they in 2A football they're undefeated.
I know you get to see it and listen to a lot of games on Friday nights and keep following it well. Do you see anybody competing with Clay the rest of the year?
Not in the regular season.
Yeah, that's what I know.
No, I mean they went 10-0 last year, and you know I know they lost there in the first round to UMS Wright, to Terry Curtis. To the I mean, you know, and look, that wasn't the best UMS Wright team. I don't think anybody saw them coming up here and knocking off you know, Clay Central, but they won a scrappy 7-0 game. It was an odd football game. Clay Central had some opportunities, but again, that's why they play the games. You don't play them on paper. And you know, I think that's kind of been in the mind of the players at Clay and the coaches. You know, that they had a great season, and that isn't how they wanted it to end last year, going out in the first round.
Right.
You know, Ben Russell played them to a 1-touchdown game. It's the closest game they've had all year. I don't think they'll have one any closer than that until they find somebody in the playoffs. So I would not think that they would have a blunder like that in the first round this year. They'll be at home. I think that's why they have fought and playing so hard to get back to that opportunity. That won't happen again. I can just go ahead and tell you, whoever Clay draws out, it's that 4 seed, better understand what they're walking into in the first round. But you know, there's some good football teams in 5A. You know, I ran off several of them. Moody is one of them. Montgomery Catholic is one of them. I don't know when they will match up, how that plays out, but the answer to your question is no, not in the regular season.
Yeah, I was looking at their schedule, and it looks like another great run for Danny coming.
Well, it's in the middle of it. Yep. Yeah. He's right here, smack dab in the run. So, all right, we're going to take a break. That's the end of hour number 1. Hour number 2, the College Blitz segment coming up right after this.
Hi, this is Brian Bice with Bice Motors. With our all-star lineup of Dodge trucks, Jeep, SUVs, and Chrysler cars, we offer the area team dedicated to making your next vehicle purchase a positive experience. Our sales team offers competitive pricing, and we back up all sales with a service department second to none. Bice Motors also offers the area's best selection of pre-owned vehicles. Visit Bice Motors at 2133 Cherokee Road in Alexander City.
Guaranteed lowest price. Buy it at Bice Motors.
Foshi's Watts on Dable Road in Alexander City is always making improvements, making it bigger, like making their pellet ice a 10-pound bag for $2. How about their biscuits? Have you tried their biscuits with regular cheese or hoop cheese with sausage and ham and salmon? Oh, and throw an egg on there and you got a happy person. And don't forget about they have propane and wood. That's Foshi's Watts, Dable Road, Alex City.
If you haven't been to Big B Barbecue in Alex City, then you're missing the best barbecue around. Big B has everything from the best pulled or chopped pork, chicken, and beef to cheeseburgers and grilled chicken salads. Bring your friends and family out for a great dinner and sit outside on our beautiful patio, or sit inside and enjoy your meal by the fireplace. So come in and join us and enjoy the best barbecue in the area only at Big B Barbecue, located on Highway 22 West in Alex City.
If you're seeing the American cockroach, throw up the red flag. Ladybugs, throw up the red flag. Ants and swarming termites, throw up the red flag. And kudzu bugs, throw up the red flag. That's Red Flag Pest Control. So the caution is on. Call Red Flag Pest Control today.
I'm Scott Davis with Red Flag Pest Control. Call me today, 256-825-0430.
I'm Jimmy Goree with Goree's Furniture. We would like to invite you to come shop our huge selection of furniture. But if you don't have time, we have over 2,000 items you can have shipped directly to your home. Go to GoreesFurniture.com, look for 48-hour quick ship. Shop, click, ship, it's just that easy. You can shop us here, or you can shop us online, only at Gorees Furniture.
Your express way to saving.
Heavy-duty trucks and heavy-duty savings are at Glenn Smith in Opelika. Big work means big towing and hauling ability. Today, you can drive away brand new Chevrolet Silverado and GMC Sierra 2500 HD trucks with discounts up to $6,000 off. Take your choice, Chevy or GMC heavy-duty 2500 series trucks up to $6,000 off right now during truck season. So let's get to work. Glenn Smith Chevrolet GMC in Opelika, your heavy-duty truck headquarters. Get ready to smile.
Welcome back, everyone, to the Saturday Sports Countdown presented by JR Sports Bar and Grill and Sunshine Heating and Air. If you got some comments and questions, I would love to hear from you. A lot of comments coming in there in the first hour. If you want to call us, 256-234-6221 to be part of the program now in the College Blitz segment of the show. And got some games, some key games on tap. Not the best slate of football games, around the SEC, but some pretty good ones, I think, overall. I would normally say, and unfortunately every year, Jim, this one gets lesser and lesser attention because Auburn not holding up their end of the bargain. The oldest rivalry in the South, Auburn and Georgia today at 2:30, and man, I really, again, we talk about this on Auburn Blitz 5 days a week, but you look down and what a pathetic start. And the only thing I can really say, pathetic start to the season for Auburn. 2-3, 0-2 in conference play. You had a 5-game home stretch there to start the season. They're not a single one of us predicted them to go 2-3. Now, we had maybe somebody say they could go 3-2, or we had most of us say we probably think Auburn would be 4-1. Even with a little bit of fortune, could be 5-0 going in. And now that you look back, if they don't absolutely blow both feet off, they don't shoot themselves in the foot to blow both of them off. They could be 5-0. But turnovers and bad coaching. Let's just be honest. Oklahoma game, the end of that game, you can pin it on a bad mistake by a player. You can say somebody didn't do. And, yeah, Peyton Thorne as a fifth-year senior has got to be better in that situation. But, Jim, the play calling, coming down the stretch, when you have a 2-score lead and you're down there throwing the football, when you're in position to really put the game away, is complete and total mind-boggling. You allowed a team that was dead, DOA, to get back in the football game, and not only get back in the game, score 17 unanswered points.
Oh, yeah. Well, and that, I think Coach Freeze referred to it himself in his press conference, that somebody asked him if you had to do it over again, as far as calling the play that happened that turned the game. He's like, yeah, I would have ran it there. That kind of shows you that he was thinking.
Why was that not the option to begin with?
Well, that's what you wonder sometimes, and it's easy to Monday morning quarterback.
Yeah, that's not a Monday quarterback, though. Good Lord, man.
After the fact, but yes, it's definitely questioning, what took place and why would you, just like what you said, why would you not, if you know the game's in hand, why wouldn't you play a game management and just run the clock out?
Jim, if you eat 3 or 4 minutes off the clock, they don't have a chance to come back.
No.
They don't have enough time to do everything in sequence to do what they did. Here's the deal. I sitting there on, and I hear what you're saying on a Monday morning quarterback, but every coach worth their salt knows that you're up 2 scores. You just ran the ball down to the 30. I mean, you run the football and at least eat a couple more minutes off the clock. At worst case scenario, you're kicking a field goal to go up 24-10, and make it a 2-touchdown game. Instead, you throw 2 passes, incomplete, basically give them 2 timeouts. Clock stops, and then you come back and run the ball on 3rd down when they knew we were going to try to run it. Then you have a long field goal, which you miss, and then 1 play later, they throw the ball down the far sideline, and they're immediately in the red zone. That's how quick that game flipped on its head.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, and it's very easy in ball games that 1 play can get that momentum started, just like we referred to the last hour, Benjamin Russell. I mean, within the first drive, the opponent's got it on their 1-yard line about to score.
Right.
I mean, that you get the momentum rolling. Sometimes it's hard to get that momentum off your back. And that's what Auburn's struggling with to me right now, is learning how to win. I think there's talent on this team. I think this offense has opportunities. We were talking about before the show started. They're growing. You can see the growing coming. I mean, the things they're doing, they're getting Malcolm more involved. They're getting some KLS is I mean, you couldn't ask that guy to do much more.
He's one of the best receivers in the country.
Yeah.
I mean, his numbers show it. I mean, he's doing his job. But Jim, I go back. I mean, I don't think, it's being stressed enough that the coaches allowed that game to get away by the calls. And again, you can say, well, it was an RPO, but you got a headset now. You got a mic in the ear of the quarterback, and you got to tell him, Peyton, we're going to show an RPO look, but this is not a option. We're running the football here. We've got to eat up 2 or 3 minutes. Nobody at the point in time where Auburn's program is, you got a team like Oklahoma basically on the ropes. You got to figure out, even at worst case scenario, Jim, let's say you have a penalty and you run the ball and they call you for holding. You have to punt the ball and you pin them deep. They had 6 first downs going into the 4th quarter. They have a freshman quarterback that obviously you could tell offensively could only do certain things. He had very limited options on what he could do.
Right.
And you had them in a situation where you were probably going to force them to probably make a mistake trying to come back in that game, and you give them the football on a silver platter.
Well, and
it's ridiculous.
That Hughes offense, the more I've studied it and kept up with it the last couple of years and over his career, he is an RPO-based offense. Like, he wants to be RPO.
You can show that.
Every team in the country runs a little bit of RPO, but Hughes' main thing, he wants to be RPO every play if he can do it, because that way he can make statements like he did in the press conference and go, look, the right call was made. There was guys open over there, or they could have just handed it off right here. I mean, if you give me 5 options on a play, one of them's going to be open.
And why don't we making it so complex in a game. Like when it's 3rd and 4. All right, so let's just say we get the ball back, right?
Right.
It's 3rd and 4. And Peyton throws the pick 6, and then he's on another show, and he's breaking all this down. Jim, it took him 2 minutes and 15 seconds to break the play down. Why are we talking about a play on 3rd and 4? Look, just run the ball and punt at that point. Right. You know, if you look, you can telegraph it. You can tell them, hey, I'm running the football here. If you stop it, kudos. We're going to let more time run off, and we're going to punt the ball. And you know what you're going to have to do to win the game? You're going to have to drive the football and score a touchdown. We're not going to hand it to you. We're not going to gift wrap the ball to you here at midfield and let you run it down the sideline. The complexity in that situation, you know, and him coming back saying, well, we got to do a better job of coaching to let them be in a better situation. You're overthinking it at that point.
Right.
Just get out of there with a win.
Right.
It doesn't matter what it looks like.
That's the mentality. I think you've hit on it as much as anything, is you're just overthinking. Like you're going too deep into trying to get another drive going, trying to get another momentum play, because he's always been a momentum offense as well. If you ever see him get a run, it's like he wants to come back with a big pass play or a big something on top of it because he just likes that momentum. Like it's a junky, I don't know, high.
If you're going to throw a pass.
Right.
Jim, what about a swing pass in the flat? And, you know, get your blockers out there. Don't make a high percentage start.
Right.
Make it like a sweep or something. Take your quarterback and put him in a good situation. Don't even call a play where he's having to make multiple reads here at the end of the game where it's now a one-score game and a mistake can cost you.
Right.
You know, it's this overthinking thing and saying what – it just, again, you said it, learning how to win, but it's the coaches, man.
Right.
Putting the players in a situation to where they can't make a mistake that's going to cost you the football game.
Right. I agree.
So, anyway, again, sitting in the stands last Saturday, for some reason, that game, the Arkansas game, the Cal game, not as bad for whatever reason. I don't know if I was just, 5 turnovers, just like, man, you can't beat anybody doing that. But for 3.5 quarters, we played pretty good football. And Oklahoma's not a world-beater team, Jim, but they're a good football team.
Right.
And they were ranked 21 in the country, and we had a chance to get a big win to build some momentum, and we blew it.
Right.
You just handed the thing away. That's the thing that got to me.
Well, and that shows you the I don't know how the biggest word to say about it, but the complexity of the Southeastern Conference is every team is so close on a given Saturday.
One play.
One or two plays away from beating a number 21 team or getting blown out by them.
Right. Yep, you're right. It's a thin margin for error.
It is.
It's a really fine line. All right, so we're going to take a break here on the program. More to come right after this.
Hi, this is Brian Bice with Bice Motors. With our all-star lineup of Dodge trucks, Jeep, SUVs, and Chrysler cars, we offer the area team dedicated to making your next vehicle purchase a positive experience. Our sales team offers competitive pricing, and we back up all sales with service department second to none. Bice Motors also offers the area's best selection of pre-owned vehicles. Visit Bice Motors at 2133 Cherokee Road in Alexander City.
Guaranteed lowest price. Buy it at Bice Motors.
If you're tired of the same old and you're hungry for something really good, then it's time to go to JR's Sports Bar and Grill. JR's has the best fingers and wings around, and their menu is loaded with appetizers, burgers, salads, and so much more. Follow JR's on their Facebook to keep up with their live music events and drink specials. And if after a long day you just want to stay in, remember JR's delivers. Call in your order at 256-329-2328. JR Sports Bar and Grill, 145 Alabama Street in Alexander City.
Get ready to rev up your fall with Adams Motorsports in Montgomery. This season, experience the thrill of the open road like never before. From sleek motorcycles to powerful ATVs to versatile side-by-sides, we've got everything you need to fuel your passion for adventure. Whether Polaris, Suzuki, or Kawasaki, Adams sells and services the best. Go to where the journey begins. Visit us today or online for more information. From East Alabama's first family of power sports, Adams Motorsports of Montgomery.
Inspired by the bold bison, Southern Union students blaze new trails every single day. They press forward knowing their SU education will lead them to success. Affordable, accessible, and locally unparalleled. Whether you're transitioning to a university or launching straight into a lucrative career, a degree from SU SDC can help you blaze your path. 3 locations, dedicated faculty and staff, endless possibilities. It's all waiting for you at Southern Union. It's time to venture forward. Register today.
Lee Apparel is your go-to vendor for screen printed and embroidered apparel and promotional products. We print and embroider free custom-made graphics or outsourced designs on everything from t-shirts, headwear, corporate wear, team sportswear, high-end safety apparel, and promotional products. At Lee Apparel, you can always expect quick turnaround time, competitive pricing, friendly customer service, and free in-hands delivery on all orders. Visit us at leeapparel.com to get started.
There's only one clear choice in the Lake Martin area for plumbing, heating, and air. That's All Clear Plumbing and Air. Our professionally trained technicians offer full service repair and installation on all major brands. From drips to water heaters, thermostats to entire air conditioning and heating systems, and everything in between. Our fast, reliable, and guaranteed top-notch customer service will keep you informed and up to speed through the entire process. Call us today or look for us on Facebook and Instagram at All Clear Plumbing and Air, 256-496-2056. License number 19172.
Welcome back, everyone, to the Saturday Sports Countdown presented by JR Sports Bar and Grill and Sunshine Heating and Air. We want to go to the Eric McKinley Mortgage Pro Hotline. Welcome in Luke Robinson. I'm going to talk some Alabama football. Alabama on the road today against Vanderbilt. We'll talk about that game here a little bit later on. But Alabama with a big win over Georgia last Saturday. And, again, another monstrous matchup where Alabama, I don't know if you could get off to a better start than what Alabama got off to. And, Luke, you had to hold on to your britches there in the second half to get out of there with a win. It was a tale of two halves. I mean, Alabama clearly dominated in the first half. Georgia did everything they had to do to get back in the ball game and actually grab a lead for a small amount of time. But Alabama able to make one more play there at the end to win the game. But just a crazy lopsided game in two halves.
Yeah, it's going to end up being the game of the year, I believe. I don't know how you're going to top it. It had everything you want. It had long touchdown plays. Excuse me. It had a safety. It had 3 offensive pass interferences in one game. I've never seen that before. It had, the stars coming out. The environment was absolutely bananas. There's nothing bad about that game. And, look, I know some Alabama fans are like, well, we took our foot off the gas, blah, blah, blah. I get so tired of everybody saying that. Why not give Georgia credit? Georgia is a great ball club, and they could have quit. They could have, and they didn't. And I give Georgia credit versus saying, Alabama wasn't focused anymore. I really do. I believe that. And then, you enter Ryan Williams, and he's just a freak show. I haven't been able to pinpoint what it is about him, that makes him so special for years now. But it's something because he's, he doesn't weigh but $175 maybe, and he's not the fastest player I've ever seen. He's not necessarily the quickest. He's just got an it factor about him, and I don't know what it is, but that's what makes it so much fun to watch him. If you can pinpoint what it is that makes somebody so awesome, like Mike Evans with the Buccaneers, he's great. But he's super tall and he's super fast. And so, yeah, you're like, okay, I sort of see what makes him good. But with somebody like a Ryan Williams or Tariq Hill, you're like, he's the fastest player in the league. Just throw it as far as you can. He'll run under it. But with somebody like Ryan Williams, you don't know how to describe it because you just have to see it yourself. And I was very fortunate to be there. And it's the best environment I've been in a lot of environments in Bryant Denny Stadium. I've been in a lot of environments around the country. It's the best environment I've ever been in. It was the most raucous crowd I've ever been a part of. It was just bananas. And I think what was really great about it, I'm glad it wasn't like an Iron Bowl or Alabama, Tennessee, because I think there's too much, mutual dislike between those two schools. I mean, I know Alabama fans and Georgia come upon sort of a rivalry, but I really believe for the most part everybody respected the other side. Like they were like, we're watching greatness, and we need to absorb it. And you don't need to just try and find a way to nitpick and put down Georgia or nitpick and put down Alabama. You're watching probably the two best teams in the country, so let's just enjoy it. And, yeah, you want your team to win, obviously, but the Georgia fans I saw leaving weren't, like, throwing stuff and weren't upset, and they certainly weren't barking at people. But they were, you know, they were much more cordial and respectful, and it was just sort of a very different ending to a traditional SEC fight.
Well, you know, I watched that game, and, you know, to me, Luke, to do what Georgia did on the road, really, to me, was the storyline. I mean, to get down 30-7 and really pretty much be just have your doors blown off in the first half, to fight back and take the lead. And I think they were 5 for 5 on fourth downs. I mean, Alabama couldn't get off the field, and Georgia was they had no choice but to go for it in their own territory several times. I mean, trying to come back, you got to maximize every opportunity, and it worked out for them. But, you know, it clicked. You know, Georgia has struggled offensively the last couple of weeks, struggled against Kentucky, struggled in that first half, but something clicked in the second half, and they got going. And, you know, and I hear what you said about it, and I think, you know, in the game, teams just find a way sometimes. But just your thoughts on Alabama really not being able to get off the field there in the second half and actually giving up a lead, but having the moxie to come back and make a play. And let me say this about Ryan Williams. I've called him a bunch in high school, and I had him for a couple state championship games, and you're right. But I will say this. The it factor with him is he's an outstanding route runner. He works hard on the little things that make him exceptional, where the common fan watches a guy run a route, you know, and he maybe kind of just goes into the break a little half-heartedly. Now, he pops the break off. Everything is always precision, and his agility, and it's like he's floating sometimes, his agility with the football and ability to shift on a dime is what makes him the player he is, Luke. I mean, again, not the fastest, not the biggest, all that kind of stuff, but his preparation and his ability to run routes and make people miss an open field is what makes him dynamic.
Yeah, on your first question, so I do think it's tough. Once you get into a state of mind, it can be tough to capture momentum back. I mean, once Alabama sort of – you know, you can't help but look up at the scoreboard and go, it's 28-0. I mean, we got this in the bag kind of thing. And so you can't help but change the way you look at the game. And, you know, we all say that as fans is, why do you take your foot off the gas? I don't think that's what it is necessarily. I think we've all played sports where you get up big and you're like, okay, it's not that I can coast, but it's like I don't have the same I got to get after it mentality I had at the very beginning. I don't think it's necessarily that you are intending to say like, oh, well, you know, we're beating them too bad. I don't think that's what it is. But Georgia had a sense of desperation, and desperation, you know, necessity is the mother of invention. And so Georgia had to do was invent ways to get first downs. And, you know, you could look at it another way and say, hey, look, Alabama was taking them to what should have been 3 and out several times, but Georgia kept going for it on 4th and 2, 4th and 3, 4th and 5. And they got some, you know, that seemed to be when they play their best. 5 of 5 is kind of nuts on that. They got some defensive pass interference calls on that where they didn't catch the ball, but then they called other times where they did catch the ball. It was just amazing. I mean, it really was. It was a fun game to watch, fun game to be there, no matter who you pulled for. And then in terms of Williams, what's even more ironic, you know, I do think his route running is usually pretty good. I mean, I wouldn't call him the Devontae Smith level route running just yet, but on the very last catch, the most, which will be one of the most famous catches in Alabama recent history, even Kurt Herbstreit said it wasn't a great route. He just made his adjustments. I mean, he just sort of went up and did whatever he had to do, and the next thing you know, he's dead-legging 2 Georgia guys. I mean, these aren't just 2 regular guys either. These are 5 stars that one of them is penciled in to be an All-American, and he's 17 years old making kids do this. I mean, it's pretty unbelievable to watch, and it's a lot of fun. And then, of course, you had 2 quarterbacks that are vying for Heisman Trophy spots. going against each other head-to-head. You had another freshman who also weirdly wears number 2 on defense, intercepting the last play of the game, or essentially. Just crazy stuff. It was a lot of fun. So I'm hoping that, Alabama's able to get focused more today, because Vanderbilt, I mean, look, they're still Vanderbilt, but they're no joke. I mean, you can't just roll it out there and expect to beat Vanderbilt. Now, eventually I think Alabama could overwhelm them, or Georgia could, or something. But for the most part, I think, just like Vanderbilt proved at Missouri, they're not going to just go down and just get the heck beat out of them. They've only lost 2 games this year on essentially the last play of the game both times. So, and they missed the field goal to send it into another overtime against Missouri. This Pavia kid has got a ton of heart. He's not reckless. He's just aggressive, and love watching him play. And Clark Lee has instilled much more of a hardcore mentality in this bunch, and I think this is a much different Vanderbilt team.
Well, it is.
One that was talking a lot of junk before the 2017 Alabama game, where Alabama beat them 59-0.
It is a different Vanderbilt team. Look, Pavia, we all know what he's able to do. He's a great portal quarterback. That Vanderbilt snatched. They already knocked off Virginia Tech earlier in the year. As you said, they lost essentially on the last play of the game, lost in overtime to a good Missouri team who's number 9 in the country. Alabama better be focused. I'm not saying that I think Vanderbilt can win this game, but I didn't think Vanderbilt would beat Virginia Tech either. And I didn't think they would have the game won against Missouri on the road. But this Pavia guy changes the deal. And they are the same Vanderbilt, but they've got a better quarterback. And we talk about this all the time on our program. You can implant a good quarterback on a lot of teams, and it can change the whole scope of how that team plays. And Pavia is a gritty player. Like you said, he's not some dynamic, unbelievable first-round draft pick type player, but he's a great college quarterback that has given Vanderbilt in a situation, an opportunity where they probably should be 4-0 going into this game. So Alabama coming off a big win, an emotional win with Georgia. We all know, Luke, we've been to Vanderbilt. You and I both have been to that stadium. It's Deadsville. I mean, Alabama will no doubt have way more fans than Vanderbilt, but it just seems like you get sucked into a vacuum. And Georgia struggled over there last year, if you'll remember. I mean, played horrible for 3 quarters and ended up winning the game. So Alabama, the game won't have the enormity, but Vanderbilt will get up, and Alabama's going to have to play.
Yeah, it's going to be. It's not going to be just. I don't think Alabama's going to be up 28-0 on Vanderbilt after 1 quarter or quarter and a half or whatever. And I think it's another. Look, here's the other thing: is this is a game that leads into the South Carolina game. And the thing about South Carolina, offensively they're a little bit challenged, but man, does they get after the passer. I mean, their pass rush is about as fearsome as it is out there right now. I mean, they got some dudes coming off the edge, and that's where they really made their hay recruiting. Obviously Robbie Ashford, and then they've got the other kid whose name is escaping right now. They're a little limited in what they can bring to the table offensively, but on defense, they beat Kentucky at Kentucky essentially defensive alone. And then we all know what Kentucky did with Georgia, put up a big-time fight. And Kentucky also went into Ole Miss and won. So, that win that South Carolina got over Kentucky's looking better and better for all intents and purposes. You know how much I hate blaming the referees for anything, but, South Carolina got the worst of a couple of calls against LSU at home, and they probably should have won that game. South Carolina should be undefeated coming into this Ole Miss game today, which is going to be a lot of fun.
If Lenore Sellers doesn't get hurt, they probably are.
Lenore Sellers, yeah, that's who. It's early in the morning. But so Alabama's got South Carolina next week, and then you got the game against Tennessee, which is going to be just bananas. That game should be 2 undefeated teams. It could very well be a 1 and a 2 if things fall right. And if that happens, Knoxville's going to, burn down one way or the other. And it's a big stretch coming up for Alabama, because right after Tennessee, you welcome Missouri, who's your homecoming team, and they're a top team in the country, and they may very well be undefeated. So it's a tough stretch for Alabama. And you don't want to look over. I mean, it would be great if Vanderbilt was Vanderbilt of 2017 and you could just roll the ball out there and blow their doors off. But that's not going to happen. I think the Pavia kid, he's got like all the heart and all the determination of like a Johnny Manziel without the talent.
Right.
But I don't mean that as a slight, because who has Manziel's talent, right? But I mean it in a sense that he's tough to bring down. He just doesn't quit.
Yeah, good stuff there, Luke. We appreciate you calling in and giving us the update as always on Saturday. And looking forward to the games today, and we'll catch up with you next week.
All right, guys, have a good one.
Thanks so much. That's Luke Robinson there with our team. And Jim, we'll go ahead and get to break. We're a little bit behind, and we'll come back. You and I will talk about this Auburn-Georgia game, and then we'll talk about games around the conference, and it'll be time to wrap it up. Stay tuned. More to come right after this.
Hi, this is Brian Bice with Bice Motors. With our all-star lineup of Dodge trucks, Jeep, SUVs, and Chrysler cars, we offer the area team dedicated to making your next vehicle purchase a positive experience. Our sales team offers competitive pricing, and we back up all sales with a service department second to none. Bice Motors also offers the area's best selection of pre-owned vehicles. Visit Bice Motors at 2133 Cherokee Road in Alexander City.
Guaranteed lowest price. Buy it at Bice. Bice Motors.
Alex City and west side of the lake. It's time to celebrate because the all-new Lake Martin Pizza is open with the area's best pizza, and it's just down Highway 63 South in our town. Lake Martin Pizza of Highway 63 has a huge outdoor seating area with enclosed heated comfort, a full bar with cold beer, wine, and full spirit selection with family ownership and fun for the whole family. Dine in or pick up. It's just a short drive to our town and is hands down the area's best pizza. Like us on Facebook to see upcoming live entertainment and watch sports on our 360 wraparound TVs. Rejoice! Lake Martin Pizza on Highway 63 is ready for you.
Lake Martin Funeral Home and Cremation is coming soon to the corner of 280 and 49 North in Dadeville. This new 10,000 square foot facility is conveniently located to serve the residents of the Lake Martin area and its many communities. A branch of Frederick Dean Funeral Home and Crematory in Opelika, Lake Martin Funeral Home and Cremation looks forward to serving your families and your communities, as we have since 1900 at Frederick Dean. 256-750-0381.
Planting season is here, and the Potting Shed Garden Center is happy to give you professional landscaping advice when it comes to planting your shrubs and trees. Auburn's best kept secret will have it all this fall. Mums, pansies, pumpkins, and much more. All in an array of colors and sizes, along with beautiful pots and containers, indoor plants, and a great selection of other gardening gifts. It's all at the Potting Shed Garden Shop, where natural elements reign supreme. Located on the corner of Moore's Mill and Society Hill Road in Auburn.
Heritage South Credit Union in Alexander City is your community credit union, and they have been for over 80 years. Heritage South Credit Union proudly serves Tallapoosa, Coosa, Lee, Chambers, Randolph, and Chilton counties. From checking to business accounts, to share savings to club accounts, to their kids club and investments. Visit them online at myhscu.com. Heritage South Credit Union, your community credit union for 80 years. Federally insured by NCUA.
Hi, this is Andrew McGreer at Dunning Roofing. At Dunning Roofing, we specialize in high-quality, premium roofs. We don't build roofs that just meet code requirements. We build quality roofs with premium materials that significantly exceed our competitors' warranties. We put money on your roof, not in our pockets. If you're looking for a top-quality roof, call Dunning Roofing today for your free quote at 256-307-7601 or visit us at DunningRoofingAL.com for more information.
Welcome back, everyone, to the Saturday Sports Countdown presented by JR Sports Bar and Grill and Sunshine Heating and Air. A couple segments left on the show today, and let's talk about this Auburn-Georgia matchup. You know, the crazy thing about it, when you look at Peyton Thorne's numbers and Carson Beck's numbers, there's not a lot of difference. Less than 100 yards in passing for both of those quarterbacks. I mean, Beck with 1,119 yards to Peyton Thorne's 1,038. A better rating, believe it or not, a 165.9 QB rating for Peyton Thorne to a 154.5 rating for Carson Beck. 10 touchdowns for both. If you look at it, Peyton Thorne's rushed for 125 yards and 2 touchdowns on the ground, and Beck's not a runner. He's carried it 19 times for 64, but the difference is Peyton Thorne's doubled him up in picks, and 6 for Peyton Thorne, 3 for Carson Beck, and that's been the MO for Peyton Thorne, Jim, his whole career is interceptions and the turnover bug, and it's cost them, and it cost Auburn last week, and if they go over and do the same thing today at Georgia, it's going to be the same result.
No, there's no question. I think a couple of weeks ago, Andy and I did a deep dive into it and followed Peyton's career. I went back and looked at all of his records, and in every big game that he's played in, even in the season that he had like 11-win season over there, he's had turnovers in those big games.
Yeah, I mean, again,
something about pressure.
Yeah, I mean, and he seems to be a kid that doesn't seem bothered by it in one phase because he's a tough physical runner. He doesn't shy away from contact. He's not scared. Mm-hmm. It's not that. It's just like, and you can tell, in the breakdown of the play, he understands where all his reads are. He understands, he saw the coverage that Oklahoma was in. Mm-hmm. But it's like he still, at the last second, pulls the trigger on a bad decision. And, again, I know defenses make plays, and that linebacker for Oklahoma made a really good play, dropping out and catching it and able to get down the sideline. But, Peyton's guy, as a fifth-year guy, makes freshman mistakes. That's the only way I can say it. I mean, he should know and anticipate, okay, they're showing a front where they're bringing a lot of pressure, and, okay, if that's the case, this guy's there. But you gotta dummy it down at that point when you have the lead when you're trying against a team that has an offense that has only generated at that point in time like 7, maybe 8 first downs. You got to say our defense is carrying us today. We've scored enough to win this football game. We just don't need to screw this up. So I'm not going to throw the ball in a position that's going to be a potential disaster.
Well, I'll break this down for everybody and ask you the question, and you tell me what you think. He explained it, yes, if the whole world went and watched what Peyton Thorne said in I think it was a round table the other day where he talked and explained it. All those guys are up on the line. There's 7 guys there. He slid the coverage. He admitted it. I slid the offensive line to the left, so that left one free rusher coming into his face.
Right.
2 questions for you. One, as a quarterback, would you rather have somebody coming in your face or coming from your blind side? And 2, if you know your route that you're about to throw is right there with the guy coming in your face, and he's got 2 options, he even admitted it, that player could have went out or could have went in.
Right.
Do you have time enough if you slide the protection to let someone come in your face to wait to decide?
No, when you slide the protection, you don't.
Right.
I would rather have somebody coming in my face from the backside because I know at that point I know what I got to do.
Right.
Blind side's where you get hit and the ball gets knocked out and it's a fumble.
So you've said that you would love to see the oncoming pressure.
I want to see it coming at me.
Correct. Now you know your target you're trying to throw to is behind that pressure.
Right, correct.
That's what I don't follow. If I know the person I'm about to throw to is behind that pressure, I don't have time to wait to him to decide right or left if somebody's in my face.
Well, and if you go back, and again, you can break plays down, and you can analyze them to the point where they all will work eventually.
Right.
And if you see, I think it was Robert Lewis he was trying to target, and he releases the DB covering him is behind him.
Right.
He's trailing him. The linebacker drops back into the throwing lane.
Mm-hmm.
But if you can say, if you're a quarterback and you're having to process all this stuff, so this linebacker in this gap is in my throwing lane where I'm going to throw the football down the seam. If he drops back, I got to put a little air under it, right?
Right.
Well, he threw a bullet.
Right.
He threw it, and if he puts it up to a receiver that's behind the DB, lets him run under it, he either catches it or he maybe overthrows a little bit and the pass falls incomplete and you punt the football, right?
Well,
when you throw a pass on the line, obviously he wasn't anticipating. He was thinking the guy's blitzing.
Right.
He's not even thinking about the possibility he might drop back in coverage. He's not thinking the possibility that, hey, Oklahoma might have watched some film on this. they may have seen this look before, and we're going to show one thing and do another. That's what defensive coordinators do, Jim.
Well, and that's another.
It's a chess match.
That's another part of the game that you brought up that I love to enjoy is watching the facts of it. We ran the same exact play in Arkansas.
Right.
We hit KLS on that play for a touchdown, and he was gone.
And you don't think Oklahoma watched film on that?
Right. And here's the other side of that. I saw it on another show that really breaks down a lot of plays as well. I enjoy watching that stuff. Is that look was brought up 6 times during the season for Oklahoma. They've ran that what they call a cover zero and put people on the line, and all those times they've dropped those people. Don't you? I mean how do we not watch that on film?
Again? I mean, again, I look, you can defend yourself and say I'd do it again and all this kind of stuff, but bottom line is you made the wrong read.
Right.
You made the wrong read, man. And in a pressure situation, not only did you make the wrong read, you threw a pass that was a very dangerous throw to begin with, and you only had a one-score lead. You're trying to get out of the game with a win. Why are you calling that play? Why is Hugh Freeze even putting him in Hugh Freeze knows his quarterback better than anybody, right? He knows Peyton's reckless with the ball a lot of times.
Right.
Don't give him an option to be reckless.
Right.
You tell him in his head. And so, look, we even go with an empty set. He doesn't even have the option to show a give.
No.
So everybody knows he's either going to take off and run as a quarterback draw, or he's going to do a quick pass somewhere.
Right.
So Oklahoma with the look already knows what that's going to be.
Correct.
So
I think when we come back from break, we can break it down a little further, and I can tell you some of what I think Georgia's fixing to do.
I was going to say,
today.
you don't think Kirby's going to scheme and bait him into some bad throws?
Yeah, I got several things I'll share with you.
All right, we'll take a break. We'll come back. More to come right after this.
Hi, this is Brian Bice with Bice Motors. With our all-star lineup of Dodge trucks, Jeep, SUVs, and Chrysler cars, we offer the area team dedicated to making your next vehicle purchase a positive experience. Our sales team offers competitive pricing, and we back up all sales with a service department second to none. Bice Motors also offers the area's best selection of pre-owned vehicles. Visit Bice Motors at 2133 Cherokee Road in Alexander City.
Guaranteed lowest price. Buy it at Bice. Bice Motors.
Alex City and west side of the lake. It's time to celebrate because the all-new Lake Martin Pizza is open with the area's best pizza, and it's just down Highway 63 South in our town. Lake Martin Pizza of Highway 63 has a huge outdoor seating area with enclosed heated comfort, a full bar with cold beer, wine, and full spirit selection with family ownership and fun for the whole family. Dine in or pick up. It's just a short drive to our town and is hands down the area's best pizza. Like us on Facebook to see upcoming live entertainment and watch sports on our 360 wraparound TVs. Rejoice! Lake Martin Pizza on Highway 63 is ready for you.
Lake Martin Funeral Home and Cremation is coming soon to the corner of 280 and 49 North in Daytonville. This new 10,000 square foot facility is conveniently located to serve the residents of the Lake Martin area and its many communities. A branch of Frederick Dean Funeral Home and Crematory in Opelika, Lake Martin Funeral Home and Cremation looks forward to serving your families and your communities, as we have since 1900 at Frederick Dean. 256-750-0381.
Planting season is here, and the Potting Shed Garden Center is happy to give you professional landscaping advice when it comes to planting your shrubs and trees. Auburn's best kept secret will have it all this fall. Mums, pansies, pumpkins, and much more. All an array of colors and sizes, along with beautiful pots and containers, indoor plants, and a great selection of other gardening gifts. It's all at the Potting Shed Garden Shop, where natural elements reign supreme. Located on the corner of Moores Mill and Society Hill Road in Auburn.
Heritage South Credit Union in Alexander City is your community credit union, and they have been for over 80 years. Heritage South Credit Union proudly serves Tallapoosa, Coosa, Lee, Chambers, Randolph, and Chilton counties. From checking to business accounts, to share savings to club accounts, to their kids club and investments. Visit them online at myhscu.com. Heritage South Credit Union, your community credit union for 80 years. Federally insured by NCUA.
Hi, this is Andrew McGreer at Dunning Roofing. At Dunning Roofing, we specialize in high-quality, premium roofs. We don't build roofs that just meet code requirements. We build quality roofs with premium materials that significantly exceed our competitors' warranties. We put money on your roof, not in our pockets. If you're looking for a top-quality roof, call Dunning Roofing today for your free quote at 256-307-7601 or visit us at DunningRoofingAL.com for more information.
Welcome back, everyone, to the program here, the Saturday Sports Countdown presented by JR Sports Bar and Grill and Sunshine Heating and Air. What's it going to boil down to here, Jim? I mean, Georgia offensive numbers aren't pretty. They don't run the football well, which is really uncharacteristic. They're 15th in the SEC in rushing, which is crazy to look at, only a little over 129 yards a game in running the football. Auburn, flip side of that, they run for almost 172 yards a game. The problem here, I see the discrepancies on the defensive side for them. They're a top 25 defense still. That's what they hang their hat on. Mm-hmm. I know it didn't look good in the first half against Alabama, but they shut Alabama down in the second half. Mm-hmm. Did what they need to do. That's what Kirby does. Auburn is opportunistic. They turn the football over more than any team in the country, which is not a good stat. Kirby's a great defense coordinator. He's going to put Peyton Thorne in situations where it looks like one thing is something else. I mean, that's the thing that scares you.
Well, here. Let's take a second and break that game down for them then, so that everybody understands what you're getting into. Offensively for Auburn, you just alluded to Kirby. If I've watched the film, what did we do to him last year? Peyton broke out a few runs on him.
Yeah, he had
so
good runs.
He's not going to let him do that again.
Right.
He's not. He's also learned in situations that we want to get in our RPOs. We want you in one-on-one situations so we can make throws to Malcolm and Cam.
Right.
He's probably not going to do that either. We're going to see a lot of zone coverage today.
Right.
We're going to see a lot of that box being full to kind of keep Peyton in check, or at least a spy. They played a quarterback last week that runs, so they're already kind of prepared for that.
Right.
I think you see Auburn kind of boxed up all day. I don't. You may get a big player too, but I think he's not. That's what he's playing for. He realizes if I drop in a zone in Auburn.
So what can Auburn do to be successful offensively is the question. I mean,
it's what you've been alluding to is they need to run the football consistently.
Can they line up and physically run the ball against this team?
Correct. Then, in the same way, Kirby's going to force him by playing that zone. He's going to force Peyton to make 15 to 25 to 30 throws today, and they know with Peyton's history, if Peyton throws the ball 25 times, there's going to be 2 or 3 of them. It's going to be picks or bad passes.
Right.
Or he's playing the numbers. I guarantee you today you're going to see a lot of zone coverage to where they know we're dealing with a quarterback. If we put a little pressure on him, he's going to give us the ball at some point. So, my thing is, and I think I told Andy the other day, I think you game management this thing. You're going to get 40 seconds of play clock. We go run the ball. It's going to take them 8 or 10 seconds to reset that play clock. Once they reset it, walk it all the way down and shorten this game. Don't get into a game where you let them have 80 plays today. Give them 45 to 50 plays.
Right. You flip it around, you look at Auburn offensively, they're 23rd in the country in total offense. You know, they're an explosive team
and
that doesn't get the points don't match because of the turnovers.
Right.
They're a great offensive team, they lead the country in turnovers, and that's a bad combination. I mean, the losses have been self-inflicted. You know, 21-14 to Cal, 24-14 to Arkansas. You had 10 turnovers combined those two games, 27-21 to Oklahoma, where you had a 21-10 lead going into the fourth quarter.
Right.
I mean, inexcusable, just like self-inflicted, death by 1,000 paper cut type losses for Auburn. I mean,
now here it is the same way with Auburn's offense that we're talking about with what Kirby's going to try to do to them. As well, don't you get the kind of feel that Hugh maybe feels like they're getting kind of backs against the wall today? So you may see some things. You may see a few trick plays. You may see some things he's going to throw out there that we haven't seen yet.
You know, a win today. Now, this is the thing. We haven't even discussed the possibility of winning. But a win today, you look at this season a little different because you go back and say, I know we're 2-3.
What could have been?
And then, but again, it's really not what the other teams did. It's what Auburn did to itself. And I think Andy said it with you on the show the other day. Auburn's 0-3 against Auburn.
Yeah, that's correct.
And I know that's maybe a loser-sounding type of statement. It's like a 9, I can beat you 9 times out of 10 statement from Hugh Freeze.
Right.
Hey, you are what your record says you are. But at the end of the day, this is not teams lining up and blowing Auburn off the field because they're bad. They just are screwing things up so badly, and they're losing by a small margin. So what if they were to put a good game together? What if they were to play a clean football game? If they were to go over to Athens and get a major – the boost it would give Auburn – mentally, and for these kids, they need something good to happen. And eventually, like Andy and I talked about yesterday on Auburn Blitz, Jim, eventually you got to get a big win. Some point in time, I mean, Kentucky had a chance. They lost 13-12.
Yeah.
Kentucky's not a world beater team.
No.
So, I mean, Alabama, yeah, they were blowing them out, but Georgia came back in that game, lost 41-34. I mean, Georgia's got its own dings in the arm.
And I think they relied a lot last year on what's his name, Brock. I can't think of his last name, tight end.
Brock Bowers.
Yeah. They literally beat Auburn at the end of the game with Brock Bowers. If he's not on the field, Auburn wins that game.
Yeah, you're right.
So I feel like today you're going to see a closer game than people think. It's not going to be the 24-point, margin of victory. I think it's going to be close at the half. I honestly do.
Well, it's going to have.
I think Auburn's going to think they got a chance at the half.
Well, we need to be. All right, up against the final break of the show. Stay tuned. One final segment.
If you're tired of the same old and you're hungry for something really good, then it's time to go to JR's Sports Bar and Grill. JR's has the best fingers and wings around, and their menu is loaded with appetizers, burgers, salads, and so much more. Follow JR's on their Facebook to keep up with their live music events and drink specials. And if after a long day you just want to stay in, remember JR's delivers. Call in your order at 256-329-2328. JR Sports Bar and Grill, 145 Alabama Street in Alexander City.
At Russell Medical, we're proud of our exceptional nurses, like Nurse Brandy Worthy. Brandy represents the selfless, compassionate clinical leader patients expect and coworkers admire. Brandy was recently honored with the Nightingale Award for Nursing Excellence for her high standards, sound judgment, and caring manner. Her passion for her profession inspires us all.
Being a nurse is not just what you do, it's who you are. I'm proud to be a part of the nursing team at Russell Medical. We are the link between all hospital services, providing you with exceptional, personalized care.
Satterfield Outdoor Living is Lake Martin's trusted friend for your outdoor land and leisure needs. We're the region's authorized Skag mower dealer for residential and commercial lawns and offer all the small engine accessories you need. With top lines of Steel, Echo, Shindaiwa, Husqvarna, and Metabo products that can tame any landscape. Satterfield is also your grill headquarters with Big Green Egg Grill. And our pros service everything in-house and back up all sales. Get the Satterfield Outdoor difference on Highway 280 right across from Tallapoosa Ford.
Main Street Family Urgent Care.
Main Street Family Care offers a wide array of services that allows them to treat many conditions, and they also offer primary care. In addition to these services, they also offer DOT physical exams, lab testing, sports physicals, and vaccines. They accept most major insurance plans, including Medicaid. Main Street Family Care opens 7 days a week.
Main Street Family Urgent Care. Heal better, feel better fast.
Sign Source is your local vendor for commercial and residential sign manufacturing and installation. We offer all kinds of lighted and non-lighted signage, from retail signs, LED message centers, event banners, vehicle wraps, the whole spectrum. We also offer service and repair on existing signs, as well as retrofitting to LED or installation of outsourced signage. We have the knowledge necessary to fulfill all of your signage needs in the short or long term. Visit signsourcenow.com to get started.
All right, final segment here on the show. Got to get out here. Quick segment. Michigan-Washington rematch of the national championship game. Not the same lore as we had last year. Washington's 3-2 and Michigan's 4-1, and both teams have kind of looked meh. Washington's a 2.5-point favorite. This game tonight at 6:30 on NBC. Michigan's still ranked number 10 in the country. Does Michigan go on the road and get the win?
I think so. I think they should be in good shape.
But this, boy, normally a rematch of the national championship game, you're like, man, this is – I mean, you stand and really heard a lot of people talk about it because it just doesn't have the same feel. All right, Gus takes his team into Florida. Did they get a win? They got destroyed by Colorado, but Florida's terrible. They go into the swamp and get a win?
Well, here's going to be my revert question to you. Does after they lose today,
right,
is it Billy's job?
So you're saying Florida's going to lose? Yeah, I think maybe the ship's sailed already for Florida. So and you like the Golden Knights to go in and get a win?
I think so.
Okay. Gus does typical Gus, get blown out one week and come back and go into a hostile environment, get a win. All right, Tennessee at Arkansas, man. I think this game could get out of hand.
Blowout.
I do.
Yeah, I think it's
Tennessee is they're going to have another opportunity to prove how really good they are, I think, today.
I told Andy in the preseason when we were picking games that Tennessee would be a playoff team, and I still believe that today.
Missouri will go to Texas A&M. It's an interesting game. Missouri's actually an underdog in this game. A&M's 4-1, 2-0. Missouri had a near miss against Vanderbilt. Does A&M win at home?
Yes.
Okay, that's a big win there for Mike Elko. All right, Ole Miss. I'll be honest, I enjoyed watching them lose to Kentucky last week, and they go to South Carolina. It's going to be a tough environment. Ole Miss is a 9-point favorite. I don't know about this. Lenore Sellers comes back today for South Carolina.
If they were able to do what Kentucky did to Ole Miss's offense last week and just shut it, slap down, I mean,
right.
This South Carolina's got a heck of a chance to win this ball game.
Alabama at Vanderbilt, they cover?
Yes.
22?
Yes.
Yep. All right, Auburn at Georgia. It's 24. You and I have talked about it. You don't think it's going to be 24. What's your score?
I'm saying we're going to go 28. Goodness. 28-18.
28-18. The old classic 28-18
That's
score.
right.
I said 31-17 on Auburn Blitz yesterday. I'll stick with that. Auburn just be 8 in a row falling to Georgia, which is really unfathomable to me. Didn't think I'd see that streak in my life. And
But we've already – you touched on it just a hair. Touch on it again. If they were to win today, what does that mean?
If we were to win today, it just really is a boost for this program and really a monumental win and getting Auburn back to where they need. Look, the past is the past. You blew 3 games at home. It's unexplainable how you lost them, but when you turn the ball over and you make as many mistakes as you do, but it would be just like Auburn to go on the road to Athens today and snap out of this thing. Do I really feel like they will? No, I don't. But, man, if they could find a way to pull off a victory, it would just change the entire mindset of this team going into the next 2 games on the road.
I think it's a huge propel for recruiting, for everything.
It's for everything.
Even how the season started, if you win this game.
Oh, yeah, it changes everything because you're going to look back and say, well, Auburn really should have won those other 3.
Right.
You know, that's where the talk starts.
Right.
You lose this game, now you're looking at maybe 2 more losses, and you're looking at a 2-6 start.
Right.
It's, again, very pivotal game on how the direction of the season's going to go. All right, it's going to wrap it up here for the Saturday Sports Countdown. We appreciate everybody that tunes in each and every week. We'll be back with you next week for a lot of Sports Blitz programming. Auburn Blitz, Sports Blitz Live, Lake Martin Sports Roundup, and we'll be back here next Saturday for another edition of Saturday Sports Countdown. For Jim Hardy, I'm Brett Pritchard saying we've enjoyed it. We'll see you next week.
With summer here, the kids out of school, and fun at the lake, illness or injury can strike at any time. Whether you're on vacation or just don't have time to go see your primary doctor, visit your friends and professionals at Ivy Creek Urgent Care, located at Highway 49 South, next to Stillwater's main entrance. With a rotation of 4 professional doctors and 3 nurse practitioners, they honor all walk-ins, get you in, properly treated, and out swift so you can be back to the summer fun fast. When you need urgent, see Ivy Creek Urgent Care, Daveville. No appointment needed.
Lee Apparel is your go-to vendor for screen-printed and embroidered apparel and promotional products. We print and embroider free custom-made graphics or outsourced designs on everything from t-shirts, headwear, corporate wear, team sportswear, high-end safety apparel, and promotional products. At Lee Apparel, you can always expect quick turnaround time, competitive pricing, friendly customer service, and free in-hands delivery on all orders. Visit us at leeapparel.com to get started.
Landowners, farmers, and landscapers, it's time to fall back this fall at Lake Martin Tractor and Outdoor on Highway 280 in Alex City. Lake Martin Tractor and Outdoor has the year's best terms on almost all our Mahindra tractors. Now, get up to 84 months of 0% financing on Mahindra 1600 to 4500 series tractors. And package up with all your implement needs. Lake Martin Tractor and Outdoor also has 0% financing or up to $1,000 rebates on most 24 Spartan zero-turn mowers. The rates can't fall anymore at Lake Martin Tractor and Outdoor.
Summertime is a special time. Time on the water, time away from work, and more time with family and friends. Make sure your heart is ready for the season with an appointment at the UAB Heart and Vascular Clinic at Russell Medical. I'm Dr. Kevin Sublett, and our entire clinic is dedicated to keeping your heart healthy. We're right here in your own community and backed by the knowledge and expertise of UAB Medicine. Make an appointment today by calling 256-234-2644 or visit uabmedicine.org/heartrussell.
If you listen carefully, you'll hear the roads of Alabama calling. And Sarah Honda has your answer. Serving you for over 40 years with one of the largest Honda and pre-owned inventories in the state and the Sarah Promise. Our best deal when you buy or trade, a 72-hour exchange policy, a no-hassle trade-in promise. Written offers are good for 7 days. And our best service promise. Our factory-certified technicians help keep your vehicle running smoothly. That's why Alabama can be yours to discover in a new vehicle from Sarah Honda in Sylacauga.
Farmers and Merchants Bank of Dadeville is building a foundation of strength and trust in the entire Lake Martin community. With our modern branch in Dadeville and caring, attentive staff, we've established Farmers and Merchants Bank as a reliable friend to your banking needs. Whether it's just a savings or checking account or any commercial, auto, or real estate loan, Farmers has local decision-making to build a relationship with you and your needs. Farmers and Merchants Community Bank. Strength, service, community.
With summer here, the kids out of school and fun